Good afternoon. Welcome to How to Speak Maintenance. If you're new to our podcast, we are sponsored by the Texas Apartment Association Education Foundation, and we bring guests on our show to talk through the maintenance side of the property management industry and how we can help support our maintenance teams in their everyday business. So, my name is Jason Fein. I'm the VP of Maintenance Services at Dominium Apartments, and I'm here with Becca Ramati, who is the VP of Texas Apartment Association Education Foundation. Welcome, Becca.
Hi, Jason.
Before we start, did you want to talk about anything exciting and interesting going on at TAA these days?
Well, we're excited to have another episode of How to Speak Maintenance. And we have some exciting things that are very relevant to this call today about career paths. And so much has changed in what career paths look like and what they can look like. And so we're working to sort of figure out, what does that map look like? What is the visual of what a career in the apartment industry can look like today? And it's so different than, when you both started in the industry. So more to come on that, but it's a good segue for today's topic.
No, I was excited when we set on this topic because this is near and dear to my heart, and I think it'll help increase the amount of people that look to our industry and say, "Hey, I want to be a maintenance professional one day." So to know that there's growth opportunities really helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, our special guest today is one of my closest friends and a repeat guest on our show, Jesus Zepeda. He's the Regional Maintenance Director at Camden Property Trust. So thank you for joining us, Jesus.
Thank you so much, Jason and Becca. This is amazing. Thank you for having me back again in this show. I'm always excited about speaking maintenance, and especially this topic when it's a career path for myself and so many of my friends that I have here in the industry. And it has been a great journey for me. And hopefully this attracts a little bit more of our new upcoming, maintenance guys that they would love to continue in this career. So excited about this topic today.
Yeah. Would you mind telling the audience about your role as a regional maintenance director and what you do at Camden?
Yeah, for sure, Jason. So now we're really focusing about our maintenance teams and our communities and how we can vision the properties be more reactive rather than proactive. For many years, we're just fixing things and making sure that we keep up our communities running and things like that. So the vision for the future for us is a proactive approach, making sure that we're PMing our communities and the teams have a budget for it and they can track it and see it. And, we make sure we execute throughout the years and see what's happening with the properties, with our equipment and things like that. So again, we really drive PM hard, right now with our teams. And that's something that helped us being, more successful. You have to save a lot of money. It's absolutely save a lot of work for our teams, they less calls in the middle of the night for them. So a lot of benefits with that. So that's something that me and my team, we really, really focus on that.
That's great. Yeah, helping our maintenance.
For anyone new to the topic and new to this podcast, PM, if we're learning to speak
right.
Maintenance, PM is preventative maintenance, which is so important and keeps, your properties working better and making sure that you can save money on things and make sure that you're not, well, you guys can describe it better, but, just if we're speaking maintenance, let's define that real quick.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, preventive maintenance is taking care of the gutters before they start leaking into your building or maintaining your generator before it doesn't work during a hurricane. It's the things that are going to help you sleep at night, like Jesus said. So glad you brought that up, Jesus.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Well, let's dive into our topic. I'm excited about this one. So let's talk about the traditional role of maintenance, how it used to be kind of behind the scenes. Like when you hear that, like what are your thoughts on that?
Something that it reminds me is back in the days, many years ago when I started in this role, is it was just a classic maintenance role that I used to get to my community, get my list of things that I needed to do for the day, but for my supervisor, go execute, get the things done that he told me, and 5:00 came here and I did my work, and I felt like I could accomplish everything, So that's to me something that it used to be for several years, and just behind the scenes, like you mentioned, went, did my work, didn't have much like anything else, on the property. So the vision wasn't there for me for many years, and that's how it started.
But when we say behind the scenes, I kind of disagree on it, right? Like it's when you think about maintenance employees back then and even today, they're the ones that are going into apartments. They're the ones cleaning the buildings. They're the ones doing all the work, and they're resident front facing. So, I mean, I would go to guess that they're the ones that are keeping the occupancy up, right?
Oh, no. Like, what I was talking about behind the scenes is what like back in the days that like we were not as involved in like scores and things like that, which I'm sure we're going to speak up a little bit on that in a little bit. But oh yeah, for sure, for many years, like the maintenance teams have been the backbone of the apartment industry. Keeps our residents happy, things running, and things going smooth in the property. So for sure, they have a big role in this industry.
I think we earlier mentioned being proactive versus reactive. I mean, I think that's what the role was: waiting for the tickets to come in, waiting for the person to move out and to have to go in and paint and maintenance the apartment. So now we're getting more and more into the point where we have more data available to us, right? And we can be able to make PM decisions, preventative maintenance decisions, and maybe we can be able to get ahead of things before it becomes a bigger issue, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like things are evolved, things have changed, and now it's a whole different world out there. Yeah, before you.
Well,
Oh, go
and
ahead.
your tickets were probably on paper,
Yeah.
On
and
paper.
your to-do list was on a whiteboard,
Yes.
and all of those things as well. And it's quite different today.
Oh, quite different, Becca, and you're right about that. If somebody didn't update that board, we were in trouble. So that's what something that we rely on in the past, and um, I remember when things started to evolve and change, a lot of teammates they were not so excited about the change. But if you really look into it, it's here to help us, to make us more efficient and things like that. And so with that, you have to keep yourself relevant and continue to learn and embrace a change, because again, it's here to help us if you see it in a positive way.
Let's talk about the change and what's driving it. Like, what are you seeing in the field that's driving change and making us, adapt?
I think with the change in the industry, like technology has played a big factor. Nowadays is we try to make things more efficient, like mobile phones. Becca mentioned that in the past it was on the paper. Now a lot of industry, the multifamily, they have mobile phones for the guys to complete tickets or to like do stuff like that. Computers available so you can see different programs that you may run, in your companies and see like the make ready boards in there, completing things in there, scheduling things. So again, uh, things are continue to change, but again, for the best to me, like now we don't wait until somebody upgrade the board, like I mentioned before, or things like that. Everybody have access to it, so it's awesome.
I think that with the introduction of smartphones and technology and information is just more readily available, and our residents are demanding information at a faster rate. Are you seeing that in the field as well?
Oh yeah. So now that you have technology at your hands, it's like you're in the field, you can see things coming up as they live, and you can be at somebody's door like within the next few minutes, like rather than go all the way to your computer and see things there or whatever. So man, residents get super happy when you're knocking on the door, like right after they put in a service request. 30 minutes later they're like, man, you're here already. So a lot of benefits to it, and again keeps us really really efficient, and I love it.
Definitely. I think COVID kind of pushed us towards that as well. We saw the residents were in their apartments and they wanted fast service, but we were trying to be safe as well. So we utilized technology to try to help service them, but also kind of help them self-help. Did you kind of see the same thing at Camden?
Oh yeah, Jason, you're right about that. I forgot about COVID. It was a whole different ball game when that happened. We couldn't go into units, but we have to recreate how we're going to complete all that work. And make sure that our residents were still taken care of, even though we weren't having access direct, at the beginning to the units and things. So we have to reinvent how we do it. Self-service, like dropping off filters or walking them through. Um, Teams meetings, things changed for companies as well, the way we communicated with each other. Like we couldn't have like in-person meetings for a while. So I remember learning how to do Teams and different things again. But for the maintenance industry, it was mainly how we're going to continue to operate, continue to take care of the residents. And one of the things with COVID too, everybody was home. So everybody was seeing different things. And so actually the workload actually increased for me in Camden. I noticed a big increase in service requests because people actually were spend more time in their units. So again, and we had to reinvent how are we going to manage all that work, and especially emergencies. So it was a challenge in the beginning, but we figured it out. And I think at the end of the day, remembering COVID, all these challenges that happen in the world, they always help us to become better. Things to me changed since then. So uh, it was a challenge, but now here we are, and we're doing things different.
Yeah.
I think that this industry was pushed by COVID in a way that was pretty impactful. Self-guided tours all of a sudden were more prevalent, and there was just a lot of advancement in a really short period of time that has really changed this industry. And I think that's really a big part of why career paths are starting to look so different, is because of that combined with the technology.
Definitely. I think, the big word of the day these days is centralization, right? Is trying to figure out how to centralize tasks or duties. And one of the things that I've seen, when I was at Camden and at Dominium, is the centralization of maintenance teams. Can you kind of go into that a little, Jesus, on, how we've challenged the standardized, 1 per 100 at a community, and this team is only focused on this property and this team is focused on that property, and how we've changed that philosophy?
Yeah, no, definitely. So that's something that actually we started as well exploring in Camden, because centralization is something that we started to look into with all these, um, the technology changes, and we saw an opportunity as well to make that happen for our teams. And at the beginning, it was like, we're going to probably decrease the opportunities, but actually no, it actually help drive more opportunities, because now we have multi-site supervisors, something that we didn't have before. And it's a great opportunity for our strong supervisors to jump into the challenge and say, like, you know what, I cannot just manage one property, I can manage several. So it's been great for us. It builds the bench for sure in our in the maintenance field, and also in the office as well. So we have like sales managers, we have operations managers now, and it's great.
Have you seen some maintenance employees move into any of those operations manager jobs?
Yeah, yeah. At the beginning, Jason, it was a lot of actually office, positions that took those places, and now little by little, a lot of our maintenance teams have been like, motivated to go and apply, and it's been so successful because they have the maintenance knowledge, and it opens up a little bit for them to see the operation sides on the office. So it's actually grow their careers quite a bit. And so maintenance guys, we have like I think in Texas 7 or 8 so far that are from the maintenance field, and it's they're doing an excellent job. So super proud of them, and yeah.
That's great. I remember back when I was a maintenance tech, and you kind of saw the ceiling. You said, you know what, I'm going to go to the biggest, baddest property and become a supervisor there, and maybe one day I'll become a director, and maybe one of those facilities jobs would open up. But it's so interesting to hear what you guys are doing at Camden, allowing maintenance employees to further their career and get on the office side and become an operations manager. You can only see that if they got at that opportunity, they might be even able to become a community manager one day possibly, or maybe become a regional. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What
Also, not only the operations manager, Jason, we have more opportunities than that. And I know you were a big part of it. You cemented a lot of that here. And with that, many of us, we thank you for the job that you did here. And it was with the market maintenance managers, something that we didn't have before. We wanted to grow out a little bit farther than that. And so roles were created at the beginning. I was a market maintenance for the Houston area. And Jason came on board, and we grew even bigger that department, and it became to like what it is now, and continue to be. So very excited for those roles now too. We always talk to the supervisors and everybody that comes into Camden, like show them a career path that they can have with us, and it's been exciting for a lot of people to hear that those exist now. So, yeah.
Was it difficult for those single site supervisors to get into a multi-site role? Did it take a long time for them to get comfortable with managing multiple sites?
At the beginning, I think it was a little hesitation, like, can I do it? And the job of like the market maintenance is to encourage our guys to like everything is possible, and it's all up to you and how you perform in your communities and stuff. So at the beginning, that was the main thing that I noticed. Now, not so much. Everybody's like trying to wait for those opportunities to pop up and like jump in for the challenge, because again, I think they've seen the path that like when you go to those roles, then the next thing is either facilities or like bigger roles, so it is exciting.
Yeah, especially in this market where we have so much competition to hire up the best talent, right? It's hard to find great supervisors because everybody's trying to retain what they have. They're trying to retain the maintenance teams that they have. So it's important for every company to sit down and be able to try to figure out, is there a career path for my maintenance employees to be able to thrive and continue to grow? Because if they don't have that opportunity and they feel that they've kind of stalled out, then they might find other opportunities elsewhere, right?
Yeah. Holding up to your talent is crucial. We don't see that much. Well, I shouldn't say like we don't see that much interest, but we have seen a decrease on interest on the industry. Maybe, new generations probably don't have the visibility that we used to have. That saying it's a career, and that's why it's important for us to continue to show that it is a career and it's something that you learn. The skills that you learn in this industry are for life, and you learn so many things: electrical, plumbing, and pools, and you certify people, you get them excited about it. That's why our team is here really focused on training and certifying people so they can have that on their record, and those tools for them to continue to be successful in the maintenance field. So.
Well, and it's interesting also to see with the incorporation of more technology into the maintenance side of things. Also, there are a lot of new skills that are required for maintenance team members that make it very much sort of a career path and a desirable and interesting path that someone could take that may not have considered it, when you all started in the field. So it's interesting to think about the skills that are even required or that you can learn on the job that are required now that weren't there 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Exactly. Computer skills, Excel, different things, not that now you have to be familiar because that's how we operate. So for sure, it's different.
Definitely. I think as we introduce more technology to our maintenance teams with AI or with more Excel spreadsheets, it's going to become more involved with technology, and our maintenance teams are going to have to adapt and grow. Us old timers, Jesus, we're gonna be having to learn more computer work.
Yeah, we all have to continue to learn, continue to be relevant again, because the future is coming too fast, and we have to like keep on track. So yeah.
But I like where it's heading though, because now our maintenance teams have that data. Before, it was really hard to get, the reports were kind of controlled by maybe the office team. Maybe the regional was the only one that saw the reports. And now with technology and some of the different systems that I've seen in the marketplace nowadays, there's the ability to be able to use AI to say, hey, what's my biggest expense? And as a maintenance employee, you have that information at your fingertips as well. So then you can be able to make the right decisions. So I don't know, have you seen a lot more involvement from your maintenance teams on the expense side of the house?
Yeah, for sure, Jason. Like a lot of that stuff is have helped us, technology, like to keep our guys looking at different things, like you were saying, budget wise. Not only that, like our new techs that come in with no knowledge, like they use AI a lot to like troubleshoot things or like research things about the communities that in the past we had to like already have the knowledge, but we didn't have the access to just go there and quick find the answers right away. So yeah, I've seen definitely the benefit to it.
No, definitely. Well, I always ask this from people that are on our podcast. That was hard to say for some reason. What sort of advice would you give to people looking at our industry and wondering if they should take this step into maintenance?
My biggest advice is take the chance to do it. Don't question yourself about it. I mean, starting with a good company that supports you and that cares about your career is super important. So just jump in it, see what it have, and even if you're there for some years, the skills that you're going to learn are for life. And I continue to mention that because in my home, I'm able to fix a lot of the stuff that other than that I would be able to have to pay somebody. And it's something that is there for you for the rest of your life. And again, continue to go in there, see what's opportunities are there. Like we have so many different roles now that didn't exist before, and the focus on maintenance, not only for Camden, I've seen it throughout the industry and with many companies, is maintenance. So again, we play an important role. Buildings will always be there. Homes will always be there for people to live in, and things will continue to break, right? So, yeah,
It's true.
encourage you.
Well, like I said previously, you're one of my closest friends, so I've had the opportunity to watch your career and watch you grow. I mean, would you have, speaking back when you first started in maintenance, would you ever expected to be where you're at and doing what you're doing?
Definitely not, Jason. Things has changed in my life in the past years, with opportunities and blessings. And all of that is, I continue to say, you say something. Well, another advice to anybody that comes into this industry is discipline, and never look back. Never like, if something doesn't open up at the first time that you apply for, don't get down. Continue to perform at your best at all times, and things will come. So there's fewer opportunities, and when you get higher up, and even in the maintenance field, there are so many maintenance techs, right? So many. So opportunities will always be there, but there's only going to be one supervisor per property. But if you continue to be the best at whatever level you are in your career, things will come. Just be patient. Like right now with new generations, I think we expect things to happen faster in every aspect, but sometimes it takes time. But again, do never lose your discipline and your dedication to anything that you choose, and success will come.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on my own career, I would have never thought I'd be where I'm at. And
Yeah.
I think there was times where I might have said, you know what, this is a kind of a dead end career here. But like you said, if you work hard and you keep making opportunities for yourself, they come. Some of my promotions, and I know your promotions as well, it wasn't something that you applied for, right? It was given to you because they said, you know what, this guy's the best of the best, and we're going to give him this opportunity, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, Jason. That's another one that I always tell the guys: be the one that people look for you. Don't be the one that you have to apply all the time. Eventually, when you do the right thing and you continue to work, people will look for you. Well, that happens within Camden and the properties. Oh, I want that guy in my team. Every time something opens up, everybody knows what you're doing. So again, continue to perform, and things will come for you.
Yeah. I think as time changes and we continue to move on and technology continues to grow, this maintenance role will continue to adapt and build into something different. And as these new roles open up, operations managers and sales managers possibly, these opportunities need to be filled by our maintenance employees. And that's why, as a maintenance tech, showing interest, taking advantage of situations where you can learn about Excel or learn about budgeting or learn about where you're at, year to date, then you can be able to start making some smart decisions, which will open up opportunities for, future growth paths. So,
Yes.
well, Becca, do we have any questions or anything from the chat?
No, I think we have a really nice comment about maintenance is the backbone for any property. Without a well-maintained property, your residents will leave. Thank you, Albert Trevino, for that comment. That's the truth, and that's why we're here and why we want to teach everyone to speak maintenance. So, thank you for that.
Definitely. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you so much, Jesus, for joining. I always love talking to you about maintenance. I know you got a lot of passion behind it. And I remember watching you working with your teams and making sure that they felt the passion and the growth opportunities as well. It's very impressive what you've done. So thanks for joining and talking to us.
Thank you guys again for having me. I'm looking forward to see you soon.
Yeah. And we'll be back on October 29th with our next episode of How to Speak Maintenance. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.